Today we are going to read and discuss from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 3, Chapter 16, text number 16 and 17. So, the title of the chapter is The Gatekeepers of Vaikunta, Jaya and Vidya have been cursed by the sages. Let me offer my prayers. नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैवं नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवतसेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रस्थाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी इति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशधारिणी जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैता गदाधर शिवासादि गौर वृंदा हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयति गिरियत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणं परमानन्दमातरं श्रीचैतन्य ईश्वरं ज्ञानानन्दमयं देवं निर्मलस्फटिकाकृतिम् आधारं सर्वविद्यानां हयग्रीवं उपास्महे. Welcome devotees. So let me share my screen. ऋषयोवाच नावायं भगवान् विद्मास् तव देव चिक्षिताम् कृतो मे अनुग्रहश्चेति यद् अध्यक्षः प्रभाषसे. Synonyms: Rishaya, the sages. Uchaha, said. Na, not. Vayam, we. Bhagavan, O Supreme Personality of Godhead. Vidmaha, did know. Tava, your. Deva, O Lord. Chikshritam, wish for us to do. Kritaha, has been done. Me, unto me. Anugraha, favor. Cha, and. Iti, thus. Yat, which. Adyakshaha, the supreme ruler. Prabhasase, you say. Translation: The sage said, O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are unable to know what you intend for us to do. For even though you are the supreme ruler of all, you speak in our favor as if we had done something good for you. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The sages could understand that the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is above everyone, was speaking as if he were in the wrong. Therefore, it was difficult for them to understand the words of the Lord. They could understand, however, that the Lord was speaking in such a humble way just to show them His all merciful favor. ज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः. स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कथां येन ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वाञ्छकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः. So I seek the mercy of everyone, so that I can speak meaningful for the pleasure of my spiritual master, our DT Shishi Nitai Gaurachandra, so that I can speak something from these words. And this is very inspiring, even though it's short, both the verses 16 and the next word 17. It's very inspiring. And the association in the association of our devotees, whatever we speak from any side of the ripened mango is sweet and delicious. Srimad Bhagavatam. So, speaking about Srimad Bhagavatam, when Krishna departed this planet, he has left us the Srimad Bhagavatam, and he has personally spoken the Bhagavad Gita. So both are left to us intentionally because at the time when Krishna left this planet, it's advent of a Kali Yuga. Kali Yuga started. So Krishna, knowing the conditioned nature of us, he has given this valuable Srimad Bhagavatam, which is Bhagavad Purana, which is non-different from Krishna. So we all know that the holy name is not different from Krishna. It's absolute. Similarly, the Srimad Bhagavatam is absolute in nature and it is non-different. It is identical with Krishna. So it is Krishna, and speaking anything from anything, even in any confused state, we all experience sometimes some confusion or something that bothers us. By taking any page, whether it is Bhagavad Gita or anything in Srimad Bhagavatam, and when we read something, Krishna will reveal clarity somehow or other through a verse in a page or a next. There is assured clarity in that part. So the presence of a Krishna is available for us, accessible for anyone and everyone in this Kali Yuga. So here, the sages are being glorified by Krishna. So Krishna is glorifying the sages for the punishment that was being given to the gatekeepers, and Krishna has spoken earlier, and now the sages is talking back to Krishna. So the sages said, "O Supreme Personality of Godhead, we are unable to know your intent for us to do. It's very difficult to understand the plans of Krishna. We know about it. We all experienced about it practically. We Even when Lord Brahma, when he appeared, he was curious. So he went down from the lotus stem to see who he is, but he couldn't find. It is very difficult to find and understand the plans and to know anything about Krishna unless it is being revealed to us by Krishna himself. It is not that easy to understand that. So here the sages are acknowledging like it's very difficult. The sages said like you are the Supreme Personality of Godhead, you are above everyone. And here you are speaking like as if you have done something wrong, and you are supporting and you are elevating us. Therefore, it is difficult to understand the words of the Lord. Here we can talk many things about it. The Lord is Bhakta Vatsala. He cares a lot for his devotees, which is for sure. And if we go and approach our spiritual master saying that we have this problem, that problem, I don't know how to do this, you have given this service, I'm unable to do this, this is the challenge I am facing it. The spiritual master, who is a representative of God, he acknowledges and he says very firmly that your problem is my problem. I repeat again, your problem is my problem. He doesn't say that I had given instruction, handle it. He takes the ownership. It's a wonderful leadership quality to learn from the Supreme Personality of Godhead and his bona fide representatives. They take the problem of our problem and consider it as our personal problem and come to our level, come down to our level and help us to mitigate and overcome that problem. Okay, so here Krishna is the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, and it's very difficult to understand his plans and actions. So he is speaking in a humble way, such an humble way to show his merciful nature. So no wonder the sages are thrilled and experiencing goosebump, because the Supreme Personality of Godhead is coming into that level and presenting himself. And here the challenge is even making himself as he's the what to say he has done something extremely wrong, and he is apologizing. In that aspect, he is doing that. And another thing is, he is apologizing or he is acting for his representatives who are the gatekeepers. You see how the connection. The gatekeepers were being cursed, and Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is above all, he is accepting the wrong on behalf of his gatekeeper and acting in this way. So we learned from the retreat that when devotees approach Krishna, it is like the kid approaching the parents and asking again, 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 constantly asking them. And the same thing in my profession, when someone is coming and asking me again and again, I said like, no, why should I even think about doing that? Because we have a processing system which is called the mind, which which um, which is a friend and enemy, and most of the time acts like a enemy, and it says, why should I even do this? Why is he coming and bugging me again and again? The bugging is a strong connection between devotee and Krishna. I can also, my thoughts going to an incident like my god brother. When I was having a challenging challenging situation in life, I was thinking like, how do I go and approach my spiritual master and ask him again this same thing? And he said very firmly, who will I ask? Who can I go? That strong statement was very, very powerful, and it act like an impetus. Who can I go other than my spiritual master, who is the direct manifestation of the super soul? He is tangible, he is accessible, and I he revealed Krishna, and he is the person for me to go. And he chastised, or he gives a pleasing words, whatever that is, it is all good for me. So the external manifestation of the super soul, accessible form for us, is the spiritual master, and he is as good as God. So we sing in our prayers, Sakshat Haritvena Samasta Shastre. So he's as good as God. So he is accessible, and he is very careful in training us. That is his mission. He ensures that there is no pride factor that is being installed in our system. He nurtures our faith. He is very careful about our journey of faith. So all these things are getting inherited. These qualities are inherited from the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So we can see all those things. Moving back to the next verse. Brahmanyasya param daivam Brahmana kilate prabhu Vipranam deva devanam Bhagavan Atmadaivatam. Brahmanyasya, of the supreme director of the Brahminical culture, Param, the highest, Daivam, position, Brahmana, the Brahmanas, Kila, for the teaching of others, Te, your, Prabhu, O Lord, Kripanam, of the Brahmanas, Deva Devanam, to be worshipped by the demigods, Bhagavan, the supreme personality of Godhead, Atma, the self, Daivatam, worshipable deity. Translation, O Lord, you are the supreme director of the Brahminical culture. You are considering the Brahmanas to be in the highest position is your example for teaching others. Actually, you are the supreme worshipable deity, not only for gods, but for the Brahmanas also. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. In the Brahma Samhita, it is clearly stated that the Supreme Personality of a Godhead is the cause of all causes. Therefore, and undoubtedly many demigods, the chief of whom are Brahma and Shiva. Lord Vishnu is the Lord of Brahma and Shiva, not to speak of Brahmanas in this material world. As mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, the Supreme Lord is very favorable towards all activities performed according to the Brahminical culture or the qualities of control of senses and mind, cleanliness, forbearance, faith in scripture, and practical and theoretical knowledge. The Lord is the super soul of everyone. In Bhagavad Gita, it is said that the Lord is the source of all emanations. Thus, he is also the source of Brahma and Shiva. So here, the Lord, the Supreme Personality of a Godhead, has created a system, Varnashrama system. And in the system, we have various Varnas and Ashramas. I can think, my mind can think about just a software system. And say, for example, a Salesforce or any system that is available, that is been installed, and you have something called admin, a Salesforce admin, one who set up the infrastructure and one who manages, provide access, one who guides how to do some things, and one who guardrails the system. That is the role of administrator. Here in the system of Varnashrama Dharma set up by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the admin is the Brahmana. The Brahmanas are very Brahminical in nature. They have a lot of responsibility to guide the others in the society, and their one and only occupational duty is to ensure the Vedas and the teachings in the Vedas and the teachings from the Supreme Personality of Godhead are guardrailed. The compliance is maintained properly, educated, propagated. So that is how they have to make their liveliness. And in order to be a Brahmana, so there are two statements. One is like by birth and by qualities. So by quality is the one which takes precedence. And here, which is given importance. So what are the qualities for the maintenance of a Brahminical culture? The quality, one of the primary quality is a control of senses and mind, and cleanliness, forbearance, faith in scripture, practical and theoretical knowledge. So the Lord has a wonderful association in his childhood with his Brahmana friend, Sudama. So in his childhood, in his school days, he had a great association with Sudama. And when Sudama, he lived his life, as mentioned in this word, he has absolute control over the senses, and he preached, and he had a forbearance. His living was based on whatever he receives. He was satisfied. He didn't had a mansion or anything. He lived in a very, very small hut, and he wore torn clothes, and his next meal was not predictable. So he was not worried about all these things. He had a very controlled senses, and he was preaching, and he was living in that aspect. And he had a wonderful wife who was very, very supporting to him. And she was looking at this, the condition, and she wanted. And Sudama Brahmana also understood the desire of his wife, and without being attached to the desire, he he acknowledged to visit Krishna, and he very carefully, like it's a very, very uh, complex situation, but he handled well in approaching Krishna, and Krishna understood the mood, because he is the Bhakta Vatsala, he is the super soul present in everyone's heart. He understood the mood, and uh, he gave the wealth and the necessities even before Sudama asking. The friendship between Sudama and the Lord Krishna was so exalted, and he, even before Sudama asked anything, Krishna gave. So as such, as when Sudama returned back to his house, he couldn't identify his house, or he couldn't identify his wife, because that is the quality of the Supreme Personality of a Godhead. He give his plans are better than our dreams. So Krishna's plans are better than our dreams. And I learned from a god sister, and she and my spiritual master has also said many times to uh, many persons, try not to twist Krishna's plans. So we are very conditioned, and as soon as we know something, we try to manipulate. Manipulating is also one of the functions of a brain, and it tries to say, like, okay, you just need a dot, and then you can put a road itself from the dot. So which is in cognitive psychology, which is called as mental models. It really makes us mental, actually, which is really not a favorable spiritual quality. So here the supreme the spiritual master says that Krishna's plans are better than our dreams. But Krishna, when we go and offer our prayers to Krishna, Krishna says that I know, he acknowledge, I know what you are dealing with. And he gives strength for us. He supports us. He creates an ecosystem. He acknowledges, and somehow or other he facilitates what is needed for us, because his plans are much very, very much elevated, very thing with a mission, that so we come back to him, because he is missing our association. The fact that whether I am missing his association is acknowledged by me or not, the Lord is constantly missing our association, and he is eagerly waiting some way or other for us to turn back to him and come back to him. Time is the factor, but the fact that he is waiting for us, and he is facilitating, and he is teaching, he is supporting, and he is residing in every situation, and he is not letting us alone, is all true mentioned in this word. He is the cause of all causes, as mentioned in the um, Brahma Samhita, and he is He is also the position for the Brahmanas in the Varnashrama system. So I stop with this here. Thank you very much for providing the opportunity to read and discuss with you all here. If there are any discussion, correction, please feel free to add your comments.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
So much. Here the Kumaras are, I mean, kind of earlier got confused what the Lord is speaking. Right, either he's praising them or scolding them. But then actually he's treating them, Brahmanas are highest. But then again, Brahmanas are, their worshipful deity is also Lord Vishnu. It is like, right? Siri, that's what they are saying. Kumaras are saying. So you treat the Brahmanas highest, but then their worshipful deity is also you are the
Correct. Yeah.
persons. Was very sweet exchange between them. So
Oh, wonderful. That's yeah. I mean, sometimes our exchange with the God is also, we don't call that a sweet, but it is what to say? It is very guided and intelligence. We don't have the intelligence that spontaneously come from our mind. It is not the it is not writing an logical algorithm or something. It is guided by the scriptures, Guru Sadhu Shastra, without our intervention. The super soul will facilitate that. So that's how I could connect that, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Yeah, that's a good point. Very sweet and definitely for sure. All right. I think there is no more questions,
hmm.
discussions. All right, sounds good. It's a very busy day. Thank you very much for joining, and thank you very much for providing me an opportunity to read and discuss with you. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यश्च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, श्रीमद् भागवतम की जय। हरे कृष्ण।
Hare Krishna.